Hi.
Hi, Naomi. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So how did it go at the firehouse with the distribution of the baskets?
It went so well there. It was really smooth. It was a really nice location. So, I mean, I haven't seen the previous years, but I'll talk more about that in my report tonight, but it went really well.
Sorry. Yeah, that was the first time that I've ever seen it done at the firehouse. Usually it's been done at the Ledyard Congregational Church area.
Yeah.
And then before that, I think they used to do it, well, it was way before your time. There was a little firehouse right next to Town Hall.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It wasn't very big.
Wasn't very big.
And I know we did it there for many years because I remember walking over from Ledyard Center School with the different classrooms, and the kids would walk from the school to the firehouse and deliver their
donations.
Yeah. So I'm glad it worked out.
It did. It was a busy event, but very good. Very nice.
Yes, good. And thank you for all your work.
Oh, and thank you for your donations.
You're welcome. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Naomi. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've never officially met you, but I'm Naomi Rodriguez. I'm a new town councilor. So
I think we have met.
Really?
We met.
Welcome, everybody. So it is 5 o'clock, January 18th, 2022, and I'd like to call the Ledyard Social Service Board meeting. And we'll do a quick roll call. Mayor Fred is not present. Kristen Chapman. Joe Consolini is absent. Catherine Fleisner is present. Maria Knott is present. Maria Prue is present. Kate Sikorsky present. Michaela Sleater present. Lisa Smith present. Charlene is absent. And Mary McGrattan is present. So the first order of business on our agenda this evening is the residents and property owners. Ann Holland.
Name's Ann Holland. My address is 824 Colonel Ledyard Highway in Ledyard. Kind of disappointed the mayor isn't here because this is important. Please consider this another attempt to garner a resignation from Youth and Social Services Board member Maria Knott. I will also continue to hope for a response from the rest of you, but until then, your silence speaks volumes. Well, I can assure you that my intentions are not malicious. I refuse to budge on this specific injustice. It is a violation of this committee's mission statement to allow these attacks to go unaccounted for. One who engages, perpetuates these atrocities do not belong in our schools, on our town committees, or boards. Zero tolerance, right? You understand why I feel so passionately, and I did send an apology to everyone that I felt did not have to endure that me stepping out of my my control like that. But I mean, it was a weird situation. We all have to admit that. Somebody, you know, texting under the table, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and accuses somebody else of bullying, which is exactly why I'm asking for resignation, because Maria Knott was bullying. And that's not what a social services board should condone. You know, I will continue, whether the board is, you know, with agreement with me or not, I'll continue to pursue her resignation and question the integrity and ethics of all who condone this behavior. It will not be tolerated, and I need to know what it is that you, as a board of youth and social services, recommend, I do, as a concerned citizen and mother in this situation, because it's disheartening to say somebody is a good person when we are all capable of bad behavior. This bad behavior, Mayor Fred likes to call it a misstep, but he also said it was improper for her to do, which is completely bullying, doxing a mother and her child, okay? Black mother in Ledyard, Black lieutenant in Ledyard. It's not a coincidence, but you know, why we sit idly by and be quiet and don't say anything about it or even have a discussion, no apology, anything. Anything. So the mayor says to me, the recent trend of demanding resignations and firing, etc., for what one person might deem a transgression goes against the fact that as humans, we all have faults. And while Maria's social media comments may or may not have been a fault, if we fired or demanded resignations from each person that made a single misstep, used a poor choice of words, etc., there would be nothing left to do or the jobs to fill to volunteer seats. It says nobody would be left to do the jobs or fill the volunteer seats. I don't know of any other committee member or board member in the past 2 years that I've been watching almost every single meeting that this has ever happened, and except for now, somebody is suggesting the counter to social justice and somebody else having Crush, a Muslim skull crusher running for planning and zoning, okay? Social media is important. It is how you guys feel. If this is how you're gonna behave on social media, what makes me think you're not gonna hold these biases in your real world life and apply them there? I don't care how much money you donate to children or firemen or policemen. It's not the problem. The problem is the behavior that's not bridging gaps. You understand? It's causing more of a divide. And I feel bad that you can believe that this is okay for anyone to believe that and just not talk about it or do anything about it. And I'm going to continue. If I have to get a petition, I'm going to continue pursuing the resignation, but then also hold those responsible who condone the behavior. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. The next item on the agenda is the review and approval of minutes from the last meeting on December 13th. Does anyone motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Trying to unmute. Motion to approve.
I did have one question about that. It said that the meeting was held via Zoom. If I remember correctly, we met in person.
That is correct, Maria. I was not present, but I do know that you met in person.
Maria, I'll take that.
Anyone second the motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second.
So the next item on the agenda is the youth services report.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday and stayed safe and healthy. Youth services is very busy right now. JRB over the past month in December, we had one intake for a JRB case that was accepted to the JRB, which remains an open case. And in January, we had another intake for the JRB, which was an accepted case. So currently we have 2 JRB cases open. Truancy, we had one referral for truancy from the high school that we're working on as the truancy case manager, and one referral for truancy in the Gallup Hill School District as well, which I'm working with the principal on that case. Counseling, our caseloads have jumped. So I have 21 currently active cases. Our intern Jeff has 12 active cases. Brian has 13 active cases and Vicky has 16 active cases. And that's when this report was completed, which was a little while ago. So those numbers have changed a little bit. We have total of 62 active cases, and intakes on our waiting list are 7. We're actually down to, I think, 5 now. 5 families waiting. We've placed 2 of them. So we still have a short waiting list. Groups, we're running 3 groups at Gallup Hill, focusing on social skills, ranging from grades K through 5. And those are going well and being held weekly. And we had going a parent group on Zoom that we had started at the end of November, and it was running from 7 to 7:30. And our 2 interns, Vicky and Jeff, were running those groups. They were for parents with kids ages 2 to 8. And they had held 4 groups, but unfortunately there were no attendees. So we decided to postpone that group possibly to the end of January. We might put it back a little bit toward February so that we can get some more advertising out there and hopefully get more parents involved in that. And that is what we are up to at Ledyard Youth Services. Any questions? Yes. Naomi.
Hi, I'm Naomi Rodriguez, Town Councilor. I'm visiting for today. I read that report and I had a question. What does it mean, groups?
So groups, we're running social skills groups. So we were referred lists of names from the school social worker at Gallup Hill School for kids that rated in a certain range on a scale that they gave all the students, like an assessment that they gave all of the students. So the school social worker identified some of the kids that could benefit from like a group, which is a smaller group. It's probably like ranges from like 3 to like 6 kids that focuses on like social skills, friendship making. Some of the kids that are being identified are kids that are scored a little bit higher in the anxiety, the worry, the sadness scales. So the kids that aren't necessarily getting the direct attention from the school social worker, but that still need the services so that we can kind of make sure we have eyes on those kids and we're meeting with them weekly and they're getting connection to an adult and helping with problem solving.
Thank you. And how were the parents notified about the group meetings?
So the school social worker reached out to all of the parents and let them know that we would be starting a group. And then the referrals were sent to me. And then I reached out to each of the families and explained what the group was, when it was going to meet, and asked for their permission for their child to participate in the group. And an informed consent was sent. The parent had to sign the informed consent and get it back to me so that they understood the parameters around the group and the confidentiality of the group.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Kate? All right, so moving on to the social services report.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Our food pantry statistics in November, we had 60 client visits and served 86 people. In December, 59 client visits, and we served 91 individuals. We signed up 6 new clients at the pantry in November and 2 in December. We had 25 new clients sign up with us at the now Linda C. Davis Food Pantry in 2021. Our holiday programs, I know we've been talking about that a little bit each month. We're very successful this year. We held our distributions for the first time at Gales Ferry Firehouse, which worked out very nicely being at that location, especially with both fire departments picking up all the toys on the Santa run. All the toys were there in the room when we got there to set them up the day before. So that was really nice having everything there. And we had the help of the regular firefighters, and then we had a couple volunteers come in to help us with it's a lot of stuff, the large food baskets and all of the gifts. It's really quite amazing how this community comes together and everything we got in and out of that room in the matter of 2 days. So we had plenty of volunteers helping with the heavy lifting, I would say, on for the Christmas event. We serviced about 2/3 of the guests coming in the first 30 minutes, and really nobody was waiting in line. We had enough volunteers and folks in and out, and then able to also shop for gifts with all the toys that were donated on the Santa runs. So for Thanksgiving, we did 48 baskets and served 146 people with those baskets. For Christmas, we had 73 households receive baskets, and 219 people were served. With the Adopt a Family program, we had 35 households participate, and 92 children were able to receive gifts through our programs this year. So we had a very successful event, and lots of smiles and some tears too, with folks coming in and picking everything up for their families for the holidays. As far as referrals, November and December, pretty much what we've been seeing every month. 211, 3 referrals, Connecticut Fair Housing 1, LISEF, we had 2 requests that were processed through LISEF during this period. Energy assistance going down a bit. Those were a bit more in the earlier months, but I'm still able to take the energy assistant applications on behalf of Ledyard residents just right here at Town Hall or over the phone for TVCCA. So that's very nice to be able to offer that, and folks can just call me or come here rather than making an appointment and going to TVCCA. So that's new this year. United Way, also 1 project warm up, 1 other. I believe it was Charlene had asked in the last meeting if I was seeing any trends in terms of where the referrals and anything. So I did take a look. The age range in folks that are needing these referrals in terms of housing assistance, energy assistance, it's 24 to 58. And the majority were single households. So I only had in at least this group of referrals, only 1 with children. Really nothing more beyond that, the age of people that are coming for help is really spanning the gamut, and it tends to be single individuals who have had their employment affected by COVID in some way or another, whether it's reduced working hours, job losses. So if there's any type of trend to come from this, it's the ages are spanning, but it's tending to be more single households that have had just interruptions in their employment. So Charlene, any further questions on that? I know you had brought that up.
No, but thank you for looking into that. I appreciate that.
So I'll continue to look at that, just to see if there's any other trends we should keep an eye on each 2-month period. Any other questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kristen. So moving along on the agenda, the next item is old business, continued review bylaws of the Ledyard Social Service Board. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do with that. Are we anybody have questions about the bylaws, or are we supposed to?
I think, so in the minutes, we had identified 3-1, 4-2, 6-9, and 8-1 for revisions. This was just a call for everyone to take it home and review again after last meeting. And if there were any further discussion or revisions from the board, and if not, I'll go ahead and make the ones we discussed last meeting, and I'll bring a revised bylaw to the next meeting for a vote. So it was just if anyone had any further comments.
I had suggested that Article 3.1 be expanded because it's vague, and I think just looking at the social policy guidelines in that regard, when we're talking about discrimination, it spells it out pretty clearly, and I think other things for the town do in terms of no discrimination on the basis of race, creed, and I don't know if we wanted to change it to that or not, because it's pretty vague just in terms of no discrimination. And I think in the just using the social policy as Media policy. Let me just check here. I think it was discrimination on the basis of race, creed, color, age, religion, gender, marital status, status with regard to public assistance, national origin, physical or mental disability, or sexual orientation. I don't know if, if that pertains totally to the Youth and Social Service Board, but it does seem to me that that article should be something beyond just that, there's no discrimination, because that's way too vague, I think.
No, I agree. What were you just reading from, Catherine?
From last time we were given the social media policy for the town of Ledyard, the management information systems. And I think I've seen it on, the non-discrimination policy spelled out on other town of Ledyard official documents. And so I just thought it, might make sense to have something similar or like that included in the bylaws.
I agree. I might need some help from someone like Kristen to ask me, is this something we have to vote on? I'm not sure how bylaws get edited or changed.
So I will make those changes and we'll vote to approve them next meeting.
Okay.
So I mean, if that's what you all want to include, I can take that directly from the social media policy. And then I'll bring the document will be attached to the next meeting, and then you can vote on it in the next meeting with all of the, either vote or discuss further changes.
Sounds good.
Good. Thank you.
So I will make all of those adjustments to the document and attach it to the next meeting.
Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
Is there any other old business to come before the board?
At last meeting, I was charged with reaching out to the Department of Education in regard to how the Social Service Youth Services Board could best support the services already being provided inside of the school system. I did email Jody Davis on December 14th in regard to that, and got a response on the 15th saying that she would share it with other members at the Board of Ed and find out, what information would be beneficial for us. I invited her to this meeting, but did not hear back after that response on the 15th. So I will follow up again with her on that topic.
Thank you, Kate. Any other old business? Okay. So new business, there's the nomination and election of the 2022 board officers for the Social Service Board. I also might need a little help with this, but we have a chairman position, vice chair, and secretary position that we will need to have filled for the 2022 year. I would like to nominate Michaela Sleater as chairman for the board.
Do I say something?
I don't know.
Like, do I go, or does somebody else have to support it? I'm not sure. I don't know how it works.
You need a second, Lisa.
Okay, can someone second the
Second.
nomination of Michaela?
Did we get a second? I second.
Okay, Charlene seconds. Thank you, Michaela. So the next position we need to nominate and elect for is the vice chair, who is currently Catherine. Would Catherine like to continue as that position?
I'd be willing to do that. I do have to say, I maybe moving to Wisconsin late spring or summer. So I don't know, you know, if it would be appropriate for me to take it, but I'd be willing to do it. And then if need be, I could resign, at which point I move. I don't know if that's legitimate or not, but.
Oh, I think that's fine. I'd like to nominate Catherine as the vice chair.
I second.
And second is Michaela. So now we need the secretary position filled. With Michaela moving to the chairman position, that opens up for a secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary? Is there anyone interested in getting nominated to be the secretary?
Kristen helps a lot. I don't know if that's helpful.
I don't think she can.
I'm not on the board though. I'm staff, so.
Right, I meant like for like questions.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So like she helps me like if there's any like worry. If I do it, anybody can.
What about, I don't know how long, Maria, your appointment is, but you know, I know you're the student representative, but I would nominate you if you're willing to be nominated.
Thank you. It would be an honor. I am planning on having college in the fall, so I'm not sure how long my time and how well I could serve on the board, but and again, if that would not be too much of an issue, if I could just serve part of the term as opposed to the entire term, I'd be happy to do it. If not, I don't want to pose a threat to like the longevity of the term.
Well, I second the nomination of Maria Prue as secretary. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Lisa, now the board needs to vote on them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
This is why I'm stepping down. So now we need to take a vote for every position or on the nominations and elections.
Well, on the positions.
Okay,
Can we do it as a whole slate?
Yes, yes.
I move that we approve the slate of officers as nominated.
I second.
and I think we have to vote, right? So
Oh, sorry, Lisa.
All in favor? Yes.
Raise hands the Zoom way. Thank you. So the next item is the review Youth and Social Services proposed budget.
That would be me again. I get to talk a lot tonight.
Thanks, Kate.
So we have attached technically last year's budget because I'm unable to get into the ClearGov system as of yet to update our budget for this year. However, I don't anticipate any changes in the amounts of the budget. So we only have the department head. We only have my line item, which is the supervisor line item, which I have no control over. That's a salary line item. And then we have a counselor line item, and we have an operation expenses line item. So we have 3 line items for my budget. And then actually, Kristen, I don't even think you're on our.
Yeah, no, so you'll see the food pantry rental, it was on last year's, but that is gone now that the pantry has moved, to town-owned building. So there's nothing for me in the budget. So we have no rental anymore for the pantry. So that will be removed for FY23.
So it'll just be those 3 line items. So the counselor line item will go in again this year for $5,349. We earmark up to $4,000 of that for stipends for interns. So right now I'm in the process of interviewing interns from University of Rhode Island's Marriage and Family Therapy Master Program for intern slots here at Youth Services. And hopefully we will have at least 3, if not 4 interns for the upcoming year. And that money earmarks to provide them with stipends for their time here since they're not paid. We also purchased a $35 a month professional Doxy account for virtual online sessions that allow us to have multiple screens, multiple people involved in the sessions at one time. So that's about $420 a year. And then there's a little bit of extra money in there for our Kid Tracks program, which is our software program that we use to log our sessions and our case notes. So that is what that money goes towards. And then we have the operating expenses, which provide the money for renewal of licensures, our membership to the Connecticut Youth Services Association, my membership to the AAMFT approved supervisor renewal, my AAMFT membership as well. So that kind of covers a lot of like the licensures, the insurance, the memberships that I'm involved in, as well as covering continuing education credits and having miscellaneous money for materials and goods for the office so we can update the materials that we have and purchase new materials as needed. Are there any questions on the budget? Yes, Naomi. You're on mute. You're muted.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So you're taking out the line item for the rental for the food pantry from the Ledyard Congregational Church. And now it's at the Morgan Barn. Are there any costs involved with the food pantry being at the Morgan Barn that needs to be included in this budget?
That is not a question for me.
Yeah, so the operation of the buildings in Public Works, so it's not in this part of the budget.
It's going to Public Works?
Yeah, so it's just included in all of the buildings. So the heating, cooling, all of that, Eversource goes in the Public Works budget.
Okay, great, thank you.
So yes, and then we do have some operating, but it comes from donations. So it wouldn't be, it doesn't come from taxpayer funded money. So with all of the donations that we receive in the pantry, we do use a portion of that for operating, paper, bags, things like that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions on the budget?
Okay, thank you, Kate. Any other new business to come before the board? So then at this time, 5:32, I'd like to call the meeting to an end, an adjournment of our Ledyard Social Service Board meeting.
Need a motion to adjourn, Lisa.
Anybody?
I'll move that we adjourn the meeting.
And I will second that.
All in favor? Good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Now,
Good night.
Maria. So, wait, let's wait till they stop recording.